Associates. And we have special guest Ian here to talk to us about how to squeeze the most out of your mortgage approval, but we're going to make something called the Violette Squeeze today. So myself, Anna, Victoria, and Ian are all here to talk to you today about how to have an amazing cocktail, and trust me, it looks fancy.
Yeah, did you guys notice we finally got our intro to work for the show today?
Exactly.
Which, by the way, was filmed at Proof Cocktail Bar here in Calgary. And you guys need to check it out. They, if you're on Instagram, go on their Insta, and they already start posting fun stuff that they're coming up for Christmas.
Great, and they have a whole bunch of things going on for Christmas, so make sure you go down and check them out.
And actually, if you love cocktails, they always change in their menu, probably once in 3 months. The cocktail menu.
Yeah. Well, right now it's gonna be all Christmas. It's gonna be like the Miracle on the First Street.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like Booyah Christmas and all the cups like Santa's and Grinch and all kind of fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. Okay,
great.
We're gonna do the drink. All the cocktail ingredients are on.
Which kind of looks like a blue Christmas.
It does. It's on the screen right now. You need your shaker full of ice. And then we're going to start dumping in our ingredients. Now, I'm actually going to do 2 cocktails at once just because with this recipe you can.
Yeah.
So we have our...
We're doubling it up.
We are. But we have our Confluence Vodka, an amazing local distributor for vodka. So please make sure if you're looking for vodka from our locals.
Yeah, you know, the season of supporting local is coming up. And, you know, why not invest into your own economy if you're buying presents?
Their gin is so good.
The gin is fantastic. I agree on that, too.
I do like their vodka too, though. Like, they actually have a lot of really cool stuff.
And they had that pink gin too, right? The grapefruit gin. That was really good too.
So good.
It's cute.
Oops. Trash in the place.
That's usual.
I know.
It's because my house, you know. This always happens in my house. Some lemon juice.
Lemon juice. And simple syrup.
So we're actually going to be using honey today. Because we forgot to make simple syrup. Oh, you can always substitute with agave. Like, you know, really, you can do any sweetness. Just remember, it's just going to be a little bit different tones to it. So we're going to shake it. I would recommend to shake it without the ice first because the honey might crystallize while you're shaking it with ice.
But I will say this, is do not put your club soda in the shaker.
And don't do that either.
If you really want to make a mess. You know.
Exactly. The excitement of club soda in your shaker would be very exciting. And then strain it into your favorite cocktail glass, as it says in our Tipsy Realtor booklet. And it actually is pretty easy. So I actually like cocktails that I can make multiples at once because for me, like usually I'm making cocktails for a large group of people at my house.
Yeah.
So that I don't spend the entire time just making everyone a drink, it's nice to be able to actually make the cocktails and
in our house we do that too, but they call shots.
And we're going to garnish it with dried lemon.
Yeah.
And the
Rose petals.
Yeah.
We're doing little floating rafts.
And that's actually what I do with whenever I get flowers, I dry them after so I can use them as garnish as long as I know they're edible flowers, which roses are.
All right. And we got 2 more meat here already. I'm just going to...
So here we go. Take a look at that. So pretty.
Look how beautiful. Look how good. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Back together again.
Cheers, honey. Cheers.
It's so pretty. It's fancy.
Ooh, it's delicious.
It is very pretty.
And it smells good.
It is.
This is really good.
It reminds me of
Victoria can drink
Victoria loved it.
Exactly.
It's November. It's not November cocktail, actually.
Well, it goes with our theme. But you know what's really funny is cocktails. You remember that Mikey likes it? It's like that's with cocktails. Victoria likes it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It reminds me of my childhood. It's almost like
like
the original
Candyland.
blue Kool-Aid that you can't get anymore. Like it's so good.
It is really, really nice though. Like that's a really nice cocktail.
I would love to try it without soda, though. It's interesting.
You always want to
She-
try the
She
cocktails
wants it
different.
stronger now.
No, the taste is amazing, actually.
Yeah, it's very candy-like.
That's delicious.
You know, honestly, like as I said, Blue Christmas joke though.
Yeah.
I would totally recommend this. Like, you know, you can put some frosting on outside, kind of like to like decorate for Christmas.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be
Rock
nice.
sugar.
Like, yeah, some more sugar. But because we did add that lemon has a little bit bite to it, so it's
Yeah.
gonna balances out the sweetness. I would agree, and I'm pretty sure it's probably because it's a Violette. It gives that candy smell.
Yeah.
Like it's really, I really like it. Yeah, I would highly recommend this one to try. Super easy to make.
Yep.
And I think it's a crowd pleaser. Yeah, for sure.
And it's definitely a color that you don't expect. So it's a color that you don't expect, and that's kind of the cool thing about it too. Is it's that offset color that you don't expect. So now, Ian,
Down to business.
Down to business.
Yes.
Ian was very excited when we brought up this subject, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" He texted me. He's like, "I have 8 points already. We need to talk about."
Yeah.
Do we need this on for you?
No, actually, I think I got it.
Here,
But, so we're going to talk about how to squeeze the most out of your pre-approval, which is super important right now. Of course, prices are up, rates have been up over the past little while, but that is changing. Rates. I know.
Yes, Ian told me good news today. Like wow, like
I heard that rates were going to be volatile for a while.
They are going to be volatile for a while, but they are coming down. I mean, we've already seen rates come from the 6s down to about 5.3 right now. We can do
that's amazing. 5.3, like wow, it's huge.
Number one, if you got a pre-approval a few months ago, like you need to get it redone, like because you could be anywhere from $10,000 to like $40,000 higher in your purchase price now.
Wow.
Okay.
Rate reduction. So that's a big amount.
Big thing.
Big amount. Other ways to maximize your pre-approval. So if you are putting more than 20%
You have to
down,
use the word squeeze.
squeeze to squeeze out some more money.
We should have had his husband on the show because like Mr. Spin instructor, he knows how to squeeze.
He kills his classes kill me. I can't. But if you're putting 20% down, like talk to a broker who can get you some extended debt servicing ratios. Sometimes rate isn't.
What does that mean? Extended debt.
So you can only qualify. Okay, I'm going to do some math. I'm sorry. It's going to get a little boring. But if you have, let's say you make $100 a month, you're only allowed to spend 44 of those dollars on all of the debts that you owe. So that's your house, your property taxes, your credit cards, all that stuff.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to be technical. Is that pre-tax or post-tax?
That is gross income.
Okay.
So that's your pre-tax income. That's your full amount. So that's why we have to keep it at 44.
So you really make like $85 a month.
Correct.
Yeah, and you're allowed to spend $44 of that
on all of your obligations.
Yes.
So car, house, everything that you have. But there are some lenders, if you get to 20% down or more, where we can actually extend that. We can go up to 50, and that's still with a lender with a pretty good rate. Slightly higher rate, but if it means the difference between you getting the house that you want or not, doesn't matter.
Or renting versus owning.
Correct,
when we're talking about slight, are we talking a couple decimals? Or we're talking
like from instead of a 539, which is 539 is only available for insurance. That's less than 20% down, which means you're paying that big insurance premium.
Yeah.
So 20% down, you do avoid paying that insurance premium, which is a huge savings. So you do pay a higher rate, but you save that massive chunk of money. Mm-hmm. So you might be looking closer to like 589 to get this extended kind of situation that we can look at. But that can help you qualify for a lot more. If you have 20% down, we can also look at doing a 30-year amortization instead of a 25-year.
What? When did that happen?
That's a thing.
I know, but they took them away for so long and they're back?
They are back.
Oh my God, 30-year amortizations, that's fantastic.
And actually, a year ago, like all my clients, they got like 30 years amortization.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Thank God.
Absolutely.
Now, if our government really cares about affordable housing, they'll put it up to 35.
Actually, we have 35-year amortizations as well, but they are with alternative lenders. So you're talking about a 1% higher rate with those. So that is a very...
Is alternatively lenders, like we talking about the B lenders? Or?
Like a B lender, yeah. So not private, not super expensive, but slightly more expensive than your prime lenders. But I mean, again, if it means the difference between you renting, because I mean, people complain about interest rates, but the interest rate on rent is 100%. So, if you're just that little difference to get the home that you want, it's worth it.
And rent is insane.
Rent is absolutely insane.
I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing for the last 3 months, really working a lot with investors. And I do that calculation like pretty much daily. Like, honestly, like yesterday, I looked in one building that we actually ended up purchasing last night. I was like, 1 bedroom is $2,400, and that's not including utilities and no furniture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what
that was like one of the more higher end.
No, you know what I have, like my guys, they need to extend the rent for half a year because they bought a new house and it's gonna be finished summer. And the rent on the Riverside, it's 2-bedroom apartment. They rented $2,500 plus $200 for parking. And the property management company said that okay, you can rent it out for half a year for 3,300.
Oh my gosh.
Plus 200 for a parking.
That's insane.
Yeah, so
But
like
at
seriously.
the same time, rent is also a 4-letter word. So if you don't want to swear, you don't use rent. It's a 4-letter word. It's a swear word. My children are not allowed to rent.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah,
you've
and
got them well trained.
You know, that's why like it's very important to find like contacting like people like ourselves, like Ian, who work in this industry all the time. It's always changing, and talking to the professional. What are you really qualified for? You know, maybe you'll be very surprised.
You know, the picture is never as simple as you think it is,
No.
and sometimes people even forget to declare income that they're like, for
Yeah.
example, the Canada Child Benefit.
Yes.
If you have kids, we can use that. As long as they're under 15 years old, we can use that full amount towards your qualifying.
Because they become more expensive after 15.
That's right.
I have a question, like talking about squeezing everything of your approval. So, for example, if like my client qualify for like 400,000, right? And we found the property like 420, 410. You, as I understand, you can always like work with the numbers.
Yeah.
If this is amount like 10, 20 grand, right?
We could look at a couple different. We always look at every strategy. You know, how can we make this fit, other than just coming up with the extra $20,000 in cash, because that's not always an option.
Yeah.
So is it we find a lender that's more flexible? We ask all the questions like, is there some other income coming in? Is there a rental suite?
But I want to point out though, only you can do this. Like if you go to a big bank like TD, Royal Bank, they don't have this flexibility.
Yeah.
This is why you go to a mortgage
That's
broker.
right. Yeah.
Because mortgage
Mobile,
brokers have,
so-
have more options.
Like, we don't have to work with one lender. We're not
Yeah.
selling
Yes.
one lender's product. We're selling every lender's product.
And
Yeah.
with advanced mortgages, like you guys work with things like CIBC, with banks like CIBC,
we work with
TD.
big banks. We work
Scotia.
so like TD, Scotia. We work with them. BMO's coming online shortly.
Oh,
I know, crazy.
So the one
That's
thing you need
exciting.
to remember when you go into the bank to mortgage person there. So this person basically work for the bank.
Correct.
Right.
And then
Not
so
for
the
you.
Yeah.
independent broker work for you and looking for the better solution.
Technically,
We're
sort
technically
of.
an intermediary, so we're a
I
broker.
know.
But I mean,
But I mean, you have a different option.
basically,
and
we-
you're looking for the best option for the client.
we negotiate on your
You
behalf, and
Huh?
we.
I'm not allowed to say that. It's only because I sat on Rika. I know
I was
he's
like,
not
she knows
allowed
all
to say
the
best.
rules. She-
He's not. We're never allowed to use the term best because it's not
Yeah.
quantifiable. I
But
don't
it'll
want to
be-
get him in
but
trouble.
it will be
though.
great.
It will. It will.
he's
suit
really,
your,
really good.
It will suit your needs. They're allowed to say that.
I like to say, instead of trying to squeeze you into the one box that bank has, we find the box that fits your needs. So
That's
Which
right.
is lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flexibility.
Other things the big thing right now this time of year is a lot of people qualify on their 2-year average. So we look at your T4s from 2021 and 2022. But a trick with some of our lenders, since we're towards the end of 2023, we can take your year-end, your current year-to-date amount that you've made, and if that's higher than 22 or 21, we can use that to average up your income. I just did this for a client this morning, and I reduced his down payment by $10,000 because he
That's
was able
awesome.
to, show that he was on track to make more money this year.
All
So
right.
So, like, if you're of anything that benefited
See,
from
I
COVID, the
actually-
last 2 years is
Yeah,
what you
I
want.
didn't know that tip, so that's good. That's good
Yeah,
one.
that's
That's
a
the
lot
one
of
that I
people-
something learned
A lot
today.
of banks can't do that,
Yeah.
right? So that's an important thing to know. Sometimes if you have a large down payment, it makes more sense to pay off other debts too. People will come and just say that I want to throw all this money on the mortgage. It's like, well, actually no, because your credit card payment is really hurting you,
Yeah.
and it's a higher interest loan. So let's reduce your down payment, pay off some of this other debt, and
But
and
less
make it
down
work that way.
payment, yeah, like, and just reduce your debt, like, whatever.
What about car
Don't
loan?
buy a car.
Just going there. So car loans. Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
How many people buy a car before they buy a house? It blows my mind and it ruins
It's
so
like
many
they
deals.
plan to live in it.
And sometimes they have to. But there is a solution. We have a couple great lenders that will actually take a car loan and move it out of your name, off of your credit bureau, onto a family member. So if you have a parent
Nice.
or a sibling that you have a great relationship with, we can move that loan over to them for as long as they keep it for 6 months. They can move it back to you after you've taken.
And that's
possession of the
not
house.
fraud. There's nothing
Nothing
fraudulent.
there's nothing wrong with this
That's awesome.
whatsoever.
Do they have to qualify to move that loan?
Yes, but you also remember a car loan is a lot easier to qualify for than a house
It
loan.
should be family member, right?
It can be honestly anybody.
Anyone.
They can
Anyone
As
be
long
trust,
as you know and
okay.
trust them.
You know, I mean, they're taking on the liability by taking that loan off of you for a 6-month period.
And then letting you drive the car.
Yeah, correct. And you actually don't even have to change the account that the payments come from. So you can continue paying it yourself. It's so easy. And it's free. As long as you keep that loan in that new place for 6 months before you move it back, there is no cost to the client. So like that is an amazing trick.
So with actually another part, would you consider if the car is paid off, will it be an asset?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's actually an important point. It's really important to list every asset that you have on an application.
Oh, I got assets, baby.
I think that drink is sticking in.
Got assets.
List your cars.
She got it.
Sometimes people will only list the bank accounts that they're planning to use for the down payment. Like list everything you have, because the first thing an underwriter looks at is what's the net worth position, how strong is this deal, and I mean it's supposed to be black and white, but if you're an underwriter and you see a terrible net worth position at the beginning of your process, you're going to have that in your head like this is not a great deal. And then it may not get approved.
Okay, so when you're saying list everything what you have, do you mean the properties?
So any properties that you own, any vehicles that you own, household goods is a thing we can list. So if you have art, if you have a bunch of power tools, like some people collect really expensive stuff, that's an asset.
I've never listed all my
That's something.
Diamonds?
That's of course. Yeah, because you could
diamond,
literally go sell that for cash.
I got
if
diamonds.
you had to. And if you have all this stuff, the chances of you not paying your mortgage are pretty low because you're probably going to sell your Picasso before you lose your house. I'm assuming nobody here has a Picasso.
No,
That's okay.
not Picasso here.
Not Picasso.
Right, got that.
So I mean, the bottom line is never just take the first answer. Don't take no for an answer. Do your research.
So if you're married, you can use your wedding ring as an asset. I'm just saying.
If you're getting divorced, I guess.
If you're getting divorced, you can use your wedding ring as an asset, even though.
And the down payment.
Just saying.
And if you're divorced, we can use your spousal support income too.
There you go. So
And
what
that
else
too.
is there? What else is there? There's other ways to squeeze. How do you squeeze?
What else can we squeeze?
Oh, I was gonna ask a question about RSPs.
Yes.
So let's say it's not a first-time buyer, but so they don't use it as down payment, but they can use it as also as an asset.
Absolutely.
Like to create.
Absolutely. And the other big thing too is the first-time home buyer's savings account, which is a new account that the government brought out.
Okay, I'm always skeptical of government stuff.
Okay.
I know everyone. I obviously don't like government. Okay, tell me, what is this account? Is it like the we'll put 5% down?
No. The first-time homebuyer incentive, I do not like that program because the government ends up owning 5% of your house. You're investing in something, you don't need to share that investment with somebody else. So we try to avoid
Especially
that.
with the government.
However, that being said, speaking of squeezing out your pre-approval to a higher number, we can use that product if we have to get you. But I would recommend paying it off as soon as possible so that you're not sharing your investment with the government because that's not what we're trying to do.
But was it another option?
But it's an option, right? If we're that close and you really want that house, like, sure, fine, let's do it. The first-time homebuyer's savings account, the FHSA, is a new product, new account type where you can put $8,000 in it per year, I believe up to a maximum of 35, like the RSP, and you get the same tax break on that as if you were putting it into an RSP, and then you can immediately take it out and spend it on a house.
So, but then they don't have to borrow it?
No, you can. So you could just, let's say you're buying a house in 2 months, and you've got all your money in a savings account. Take it and put it in an FHSA right away. Because there's no minimum vesting period. You can put it in there for 1 day, get the tax credit of 30% for an RSP, and then take it out the next day and spend it on a house.
Cool. I was trying to figure out what to put my son's money into in January.
So
talking about kids, can we do it for kids? Open this account?
You can.
18 plus.
18 plus, and then it can only be there for until you're, I think it's 15 years or something like that, and then you have to roll it into an RSP. Or if you turn 70, you have to.
That's really good because my son is 18 and soon to be able to buy a house. I've got ladies who are divorcing and men who are divorcing, and this is actually a great tool for them to be able to put. I'm not playing. I'm just saying divorcing. Sarah, divorcing. There you go. She's not divorcing.
It's I have the ladies, I have the men.
I have lots of people that are divorcing right now, and they've got a large amount of assets coming from the sale of their current matrimonial house, and they could put that asset into there, get the tax benefit, and then they can put, because they're only $35,000 each, and then put the $35,000 into the
And actually,
other.
if you're divorcing, you're allowed to use the RSP withdrawal program again because you are considered a first-time home
Even
buyer.
without,
Yes.
like, not waiting 5 years.
No.
No, because, if you go through a dissolution of a partnership or
Yeah,
marriage,
when you
so
do,
you could take that money, put it into an FHSA, take it out, put it into an RSP.
Okay, we need
But
to
you don't
get
get a double
divorced.
tax.
Yeah. So we'll get a divorce now.
Well, because it's the same. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that would work.
So you know what?
I'm also not a
And
tax
you know what? It's a great that like I know this is not something they started doing like from a long time ago.
This is brand new.
Yeah, it's brand new. And I know that once you get divorced, like even the mortgage thing, they can qualify as a first-time buyer.
And
Yeah.
Also, like in the last 6-7 years, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's about 7 years. Yeah.
7 years, like, so it's fairly new, like I would say, in just in the industry, and it's fantastic because it gives people a chance to start over.
Yes.
Without like really like, sorry, your life didn't work out, you're screwed forever, kind of thing, right?
And if you're divorcing too, you can refinance a house up to 95% of its value. Normally that limit's at 80, but if
Yes.
you're going through a separation, you can go all the way up to 95.
So you can buy out the
so you
partner.
can buy out the partner.
So I will say this, just to throw this out there. Oh, we're gonna have to call it soon.
Yes.
Just to throw this out there, I've got a lady right now that's in the midst of a divorce. Amazing woman, just saying. She's in the midst of a divorce, and she's actually going to be coming into a large sum of money. And I know her and I were talking about it, and I showed her how she could take her sum of money through all these kind of programs, and within a year take like $80,000 and turn it into 123. And you can do that in a year by doing all this smart investing and where you put your money. And now she's going to have 123 to put down instead of
That's
dear,
it. We got it.
instead of 80, right? So. Talk to us because we can help you with that too. Like a lot of people, they take their assets or their equity from the sale of their house, and then they're like, I'm just going to sit on it. You know what? If you're breaking up, don't sit on your money. Let us show you how you can turn that money into more money. It's super simple. It's at no risk because it's all where you put it and stuff like that. We're not asking you to buy a house.
Put it into the account, like
It's
a tax
exactly.
break. Why do you want to pay taxes?
Yeah.
I have one other trick I want to share.
Okay.
So a lot of lenders also, if you have a line of credit, they will debt service, so calculate how much you owe per month on that line of credit. They will debt service the line of credit at the limit, not what you owe. And that can be addressed. So you might owe $0 but have a $50,000 limit, so you're on the hook for a huge payment. But we have lenders that will debt service it on the balance, not the limit. But a lot of banks will do it on the limit. So that's a very important distinction.
So someone is asking here, Rob, is asking if the account, that savings account,
FHSA,
is that only for first-time home buyers?
It is. It's a first-time home buyer
So
savings
if you
account.
already own the
So
property, you
if-
can't do that.
If you haven't owned a property in 4 years, you can qualify. If you've never bought a property, or if you've gone through a separation. So those are the three criteria.
That's actually really cool. I'm glad we had this show.
Yeah,
I've learned
I learned
so
so
much.
much today too.
Oh my
like
gosh.
actually,
I was excited.
there is like honestly, like there's like as I said, like there's always new products. There's always changes. Like even like as a realtor, like we do our thing, right?
Yeah,
but
and divorce has a bright side too.
yeah, Victoria's optimism.
Well, that's why is divorce so expensive? Because it's worth it. I'm happily married, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I gotta tell you a story later about a dream I had. Just saying.
Oh my god. Okay, that's gonna be off camera.
Off camera.
Yeah. Okay, what are we doing next week?
Yellow belly, and we're talking about when items in your home go belly up and what to do about it.
Nice.
Sounds fun.
And of course, if you want to follow along with our show, please feel free, and we will post the link later to go on to Amazon and buy our Conversation Cocktail Journal to follow along with the season. And now we go back here, prizes. So, they took the whole sleeve off the box before we started the show.
We
It
So
was
there is
difficult.
no entertainment
It
today.
took two people to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are giving away these amazing martini glasses, which is funny because even Ian saw them. He's like, these are nice. And they are
They're
nice.
heavy. I like them.
Yeah, very heavy. So workout. So
Yeah.
while you drink, you can work out at the same
Exactly.
time.
So like and share our show. That's how you get your name entered. And of course, you can like and share our show on any of the social medias. So Instagram, YouTube, Facebook,
X.
LinkedIn. Yeah, do we not? Oh, we don't have the new X thing, but X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
And if you have a question about mortgage and all financial stuff, you can always reach Ian from Advanced Mortgage.
Absolutely. And if you don't know how to reach Ian, call us and we'll get you through to Ian. Because I can tell you right now, I've got a lady that's going to be calling you right away because this is all amazing news, and I'm telling you, all this information is stunning, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, we're in divorce season, so it's going to be from November all the way to February. That's divorce season, so if you are looking at changing your relationship status,
It's complicated.
give Ian a call.
Complicated, yeah.
Give Ian a call.
Right. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
With sounds like another exciting show.
Yellow belly. I hope it's yellow.
I don't know.
Should be.
Sounds
Should
weird.
be. Okay,
Some
see you
chartreuse.
Wednesday.
Bye.